So finishing workout strong is obviously an important thing, and there's a lot of different ways you can do it. Okay, I'm going to give you some workouts, and let me know if you've seen these scenarios. I mean, a lot of distance races I see where 10Ks and 5Ks, more specifically, tend to wait until a final kick a lot, whether it be final 400, 300, 200, 100. It turns into an all-out kick, which is fun. Okay, and a little bit less, you'll see a 3K pace, 3K race or a mile race happen in that regard. The kicks are a little bit different, or they tend to be a little bit faster to begin with. So I'm going to give you some workouts today to show you how to finish races strong from different areas, and another workout that can put icing on the cake for 10Ks, 5Ks, 3Ks, and miles. Okay, and if you're a coach or an athlete, I have a lot more of these things coming out. So be sure to subscribe to this channel, please, before you do anything. And if you enjoy the content, hit the like button. It's greatly appreciated. If you need to reach me directly for questions, Black Belt Running Coach is my email. Okay, excuse me, blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com is my email, and I'm happy to answer questions in any regard. So I also have memberships available on this channel for personalized coaching and Zooms and things like that. So feel free. Okay, you're more than welcome. So let's get into this, okay? Some slides are going to pop up on the screen. So ultimately, you're working on finishing races strong, right? Taking the kick away from the kickers. So a lot of times this happens too, where you have shorter distance racers move up, and they tend to have a kicking advantage over other folks, and you know that. So how do you mitigate that? How do you negate that? Okay, being ready for anything kind of puts you in a position to do that. And again, this is speaking from 2 decades of coaching and being a former competitive runner myself. These are some things I've learned over time. You can get to the point where you're finishing a 10K at 5K pace, finishing a 5K at 3K pace, finishing a 3K at 1500 meter pace or mile pace, and finishing a 1500, 800 meter pace, essentially the event lower, the event shorter than that. How do you finish it that? Well, there's some workouts that you can utilize. And again, these are workouts to be utilized at the end of workouts, at the end of runs, more specifically workouts, because ideally you want to do this type of stuff when you're already fatigued and running fast. So it simulates racing more than an actual run does. Okay, so you can get to the point where you run the final 1K of a 10K race at 5K pace. And again, building towards this. So you might be able to do 800 meters at 5K pace, and you build towards a K. But if you can do this, the final K of a 10K race at 5K pace, you're in good shape. The final 800 meters of a 5K race at 3K pace, good shape. Even if you can only do 600, maybe 600 to 800 meters. Final 600 meters of a 3K pace at mile pace or 1500 meter pace, you're in good shape too. You work your way from 400 to 500 to 600. Okay, over time. Okay, and then the final 400 of a 1500 meter race at 800 meter pace. This is a good thing too. And the reason why, okay, and this essentially, if you can do 300 to 400 at 800 meter pace to close out a 1500 mile race, that's a really good thing. But you'll see sometimes people run the 10K and they finish at mile pace. You'll see, I've seen women run sub 60 for a 10K, the last final 400, or sub 60 for the last 400 of a 5K, and men do 51, 52 for a closing out a 5K or 10K race. So this is where a well-balanced training approach comes into play. It's why I incorporate speed development on a regular basis and incorporating all different types of training within a training program, no matter what you're training for. Whether it's VO2 max running, you're incorporating that, or speed development, hard speed training for distance runners. They're all important because it'll teach you how to put you in a position to outkick the kickers. Okay, and here's a final workout that's kind of an icing on the cake. And I mentioned this workout before in a lot of my videos. Is progression 150s. What that is a 50-meter float, a 50-meter stride, a 50-meter sprint continuously. Each 50 gets faster at the end of workouts, okay? And again, what this does, it simulates changing gears, so that if you happen to be in a race where somebody is in there, or your runners are running, and this person, guy or girl, has a deadly kick, well, these are the types of workouts that can help you, give you an advantage, or give your runners an advantage over folks that have deadly kicks. And progression 150, you start changing the gears, and every 50 meters you're going faster, and next 50 meters you're going faster, and it takes a lot of the kick, and it's also a mind play for a lot of folks too. People are, I've seen it happen where I've had kids, distance runners, closing sub 60 for a 2 mile, and people are like, what happened here? Why? How did he do that? It's these types of workouts that enable you to do these types of things. Okay, so progression 150s, absolutely critical. This is a good thing to do after an easy run. Okay, let's just say a Monday easy run or Wednesday run, and I'm just using a Tuesday, Friday workout schedule for the week, which is what I normally do on a non-race week. Um, you could do your longer stuff on Tuesday. You could do your 150s on Monday or Wednesday. I mean, you can incorporate any way you feel is most appropriate for your coach, or as a coach or an athlete. So mix and match, but they're definitely good things that can play off each other. And these are not things you have to use every week either. But you could also use all these. You could do 1 week at five, a rep at 5K. Let's say you're doing a 5 mile tempo run, a 4 mile tempo run, or 1,000 meter repeats or 2K repeats, and for about 5 miles worth of volume. At the end, you could do 1,000 meter rep or an 800 meter rep at 5K pace, and this starts to build that muscle memory, so that it becomes routine when you comes in a race. It's like, oh man, I closed at 5K pace, yeah, or I closed at 5K 3K pace. How did I do that? You've been practicing it on a regular basis. Okay, so these are really, really, really good workouts that could help propel you to better racing, more effective racing. Again, being ready for anything is the key. That's why you have the progression 150s here as well. So if you happen to be able to race and you're coming down to the final lap, and that's where it is, and you have a kicker in there are a lot of different ways you can take the kick out of the kicker. Okay. And you can even go longer than progression 150s at some point, but building towards a progression 150 and then incorporating these other reps within your training would be a really, really good idea to make you more dangerous as a racer. So I hope you found this helpful. Please hit the thumbs up. Okay. And if you want to discuss training, I mean, again, feel free to email me. If you want to schedule a Zoom, we can do that. We can fit this all into your training if you'd like. If you're a coach or an athlete, we can show you how to do this in an effective way that fits with your training philosophy, with what you're doing. Okay, and that's the other thing. Building it around your lifestyle, your life, your training, age, or experience. One that is important, not necessarily building that stuff around the training. So we'll do it in a way that works for you. So again, I hope you found this helpful. Please share this with other runners and coaches that you think might benefit from it. And again, load up the comments with questions, feedback. I would like to get more comments in my videos, so I'm happy to, and I respond to them. So I appreciate your time. Have a great week, everybody. Talk to you next time.